and Lex.
Two imperfect six-figure business coaches, co-founders, and friends who decided to combine our superpowers to bring to market something we wish we had when we entered the world of coaching.
A real, non-BS, intimate, and fun community built with integrity, intention, and a few glasses of wine.
In this podcast, we get real.
Real about life,
business,
relationships,
and what it really takes to find your version of success in the world of coaching. Are you ready, Lex?
I'm set, Em.
Let's coach. Hi, Lex.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad I'm not speaking in accents this session.
Oh yeah, if you haven't heard that podcast episode, I wish I could tell you which one it was, but
I don't remember.
Some great / horrific accents. But what are you doing this weekend?
I am going to San Francisco this weekend, if weather permitting. My mom keeps sending me screenshots of the news and the word like apocalyptic next to each other. The rain is supposed to be really, 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 really severe. And so I don't know if this is a mom thing, and maybe we will grow into this too, but she's like the weather reporter before I leave the house. Your mom too?
On Tuesday before we flew out for Oregon, the only reason I knew to change my flight was because my parents texted us that they were watching the weather and that there was an ice storm coming, and they're the only reason we changed our flight. And basically I'm agreeing. Yes.
It's like, that's all they do is watch the news and, the weather. And my mom's like, are you sure you're going to California still? But look, the rain, Russian River was 30 inches, but now it's 44 inches. This is apocalyptic. I'm like, oh my God.
Generational as well. I think our parents are around the same age. And so I think that became, our age, we consume news a little bit differently, but hell, I could bite my tongue and who knows, 10 years from now.
Who knows? What about you, Lex? Are you doing anything this weekend?
Okay, you guys are going to see the mess. If you're watching this on YouTube, that is my office right now. Do you see this? Okay,
Ooh.
That's actually not a diaper box. That's deceiving. But basically what you're looking at is a bunch of decor, because daughter-in-law of the year has planned and is hosting a dual 70th birthday party for my mother and father-in-law for 60 people. I mean, there's rentals, there's catering, there's so many craft projects. And so that is what I'm doing this weekend, hosting that.
Wow, Lex, say yes less.
Say yes less. Yeah.
Just kidding.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. They deserve it. There's a lot going on in the world, in my life right now, and it kind of snuck up on me. But I will say I'm very proud of some of the clever things I did. And one thing I will share before I get too squirrel is, so again, theme Wild Wild West. And I bought a bunch of Rice Krispie treats, which I was going, okay, context, Wild Wild West. That's very them. It's very them. They're horse people. Okay. They love that stuff. Anyways, I was going to make Rice Krispie treats, but I did say yes less and just bought some, and I'm going to stack them. And I have a little sign that says hay bales. Can you see it?
I can imagine. I like that you have to call it out though with the sign.
Yeah. Hay bales. Well, otherwise it's just Rice Krispie treats, but no.
That's amazing. Hay bales. Wait, this is totally random. And while we're here, I finally did my nails the other day, and my sister has a gel manicure thing that she does at home. So I used a gel manicure thing at home. So fun hack, if you want to give yourself gel manicures at home without spending the $35 going to the nail salon. And I think it was my first time, but I did a pretty decent job. But
the thing I like about gel manicures is that they last long, and they last longer than a regular manicure. And that's so relevant, because today we're talking about how to extend the life cycle of a coaching client.
Really good transition. I just teed you up so beautifully. Wow.
We're synced up on this, guys. But really, again, to repeat, we are talking today about how to extend the life cycle of a coaching client. So Emily, will you please kick us off?
Yeah. And this is actually a topic that I was really excited to talk about, because this morning, as you know, I'm neighbors with my sister. So I see her pretty much every single day. Because my whole family is entrepreneurial, my sister is a career coach on the side. And she was talking about getting this one-off session with this college student, making like $500 for 2 hours. And I was like, well, it shouldn't end there. Once he starts interviewing and he's graduated from college, you should upsell him into like the interview and the resume review session. And then once he gets his first job, you should upsell him then into the first 90 days, supporting him as he onboards to his first corporate position. And so the idea came to me, Lex, that we should talk about this on our podcast, because a lot of times we see this mistake happen all the time where coaches have one offer and then they say goodbye to the client, and then they start hunting for a new client, and the scarcity kicks in and all the fun stuff. But why not extend the longevity of one client? What do you think
So
about
good.
that?
You guys, think of it this way, right? Once someone is your client, you've surpassed one of the biggest hurdles in the buying process, which is establishing know, like, and trust. Once you work with the client, assuming it's been a positive experience, they know you, they like you, they trust you. You don't have to go through that again. So really, they can be the absolute easiest to resell or upsell or sell into something new. Now, Emily and I will give you a bunch of examples today, but I want to kick us off with our program, Ready, Set, Coach. So we have a core hybrid group program. It's 4 months, right? It's great. You learn how to start or launch your coaching revenue stream. At the end of 4 months, the ladies have a lot of information, and they're at the point where they're ready to launch, or they're really ready to go to market with whatever they've created in our 4 months together. We then have created in Ready, Set, Coach grad program that supports them in a different way, but meets them where they're at. And so rather than just saying, bye guys, good luck, see ya, right? We invite them to continue to work with us, which is to both benefits, right? We already know them. We know their business well, and we're providing them a very specific solution.
Yeah. And I think we can say that we've done that in our own business as well, where a lot of our clients, both from my company, 6 Degrees Society, and from Lexi's other company, the PR Bar, they've also been sold into Ready, Set, Coach, and or from Ready, Set, Coach, been sold into one of our businesses. And I think that's been a really cool thing to not end the relationship just when the 4-month program is over.
So here's a question for you guys, right, to start thinking about. Look at your current offering. Where do you end? So let's say you are a relationship coach, and your main program or your first goal is to get them to get a boyfriend. I don't know. But once they have the boyfriend or girlfriend, you do you. What's next? Well, is what's next navigating that relationship? Is the next goal marriage? Maybe phase 2, or the next thing that you could invent or offer or container you could build is going from boyfriend to fiance. I don't know. Don't quote me on this, but
she's definitely a career coach. I mean,
the question of where are they at when they end your current container? What's their new problem that they need solved?
Yeah. And I think I really like the dating example, because a lot of times I do know a lot of dating coaches as well, and I've worked with them in the past, where a lot of the program is focused on the reflection and the self-discovery, and then leaving them high and dry when they're actually beginning to date is such a missed opportunity. So supporting them as they navigate the dating world and giving them that community. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a one-on-one offering. This is also an opportunity for you to create something that is less expensive than your initial offering, but also more quantity of people.
Yeah, and it really can be crafted to, again, uniquely solve a new problem. So let's give them a bunch of examples. First, Emily, I'd love for you to share some of your personal client transition examples with 6 Degrees.
Yeah, I have a perfect example with a one-on-one client who she's amazing. And she actually joined our Ready, Set, Coach program. I was working with her one-on-one, but I saw areas of opportunity where she would really benefit from working with Lex, and also work within this program and have this community and support. So we were able to invite her into this next program, while also still working with her one-on-one through one-on-one coaching. I also have examples of people who came in through my community, which is a low-hanging fruit, $60 a month for events. And they got to know me. They got to understand who I was. They got to trust me. They knew that I was an authority. And so when I launched a mastermind, it was an easy way to get them into, again, a low hanging ticket price. And then they wanted more support from me. And then they went to one-on-one coaching. So it's been nice to be able to see there's no perfect formula, but there's been many different ladders of how people have worked with me for a good amount of time.
No one can see us on the podcast. I kid you not, everyone. The word ladder popped into my brain as it exited Emily's mouth. And that was, I just had a moment. Woo, 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 woo. Okay, yes, it's a ladder. It's such a great way to think about it. What is your ladder? So Emily, I love your ladder of membership, right? They get to know, like, and trust you. There's a lot of value. Then what's the next step up? They can come and work with you. There's a variety of ways they can work with you, from a mastermind to one-on-one to Ready, Set, Coach, right? So it's a progression. It's a stepping stone up the ladder. So really, what is your ladder, right? That's the question we want you to be brainstorming on.
Hey, Lex.
Yes.
Did you know that we're starting our 4th cohort of Ready, Set, Coach in February?
Obviously, I knew that, Emily. But if you didn't know that, you can head online to learn more at readysetcoachprogram.com. The link is in our show notes.
And I want to also add, and this is something that I didn't figure out until later in the game. And I really, really urge you to think about your program and how can you even ladder on your program. So with Ready, Set, Coach, we have a basic offering, and then we also have a VIP offering. So are there any ways that you can take your existing offering and then add an additional layer to it? So say you're launching a mastermind and it comes with one call with you during the 5-month mastermind. Could you add on a VIP offering where they get a monthly call with you during the 5 months? So they're getting 5 calls versus the 1 call. So thinking about things like that with things that you've already built, but just adding an additional revenue stream onto it.
Beautiful. And, we do this again with Ready, Set, Coach. We have that base offering, but we also have an upgrade to make it a hybrid program with one-on-one coaching. So again, just another example, I'll share with the PR bar. One of my ladders, which is a little bit different now as I've evolved, but my original OG first favorite ladder was get them in the door at a one-off strategy session. I called them a happy hour. From the happy hour, if it made sense, I'd then sell them into my 4-month program called Pop Fizz Clink. And then if that all went fine and dandy, from there, I'd sell them into my 3rd and final offering, which was Wine Club, which became more of a one-on-one retainer coaching. Basically, yeah. So just to reiterate, I went from a 1-hour one-off call at a smaller price point into a 4-month curriculum-based one-on-one program to that 3rd ladder, that 3rd offering. Curriculum was out the door. It was more of a standard coaching retainer. So 3 life cycles. And I have actually 3 clients to this day who went through that ladder and are still with me to this day.
I love that. I love seeing that the growth of one client and also being able to support them through many stages of their lives. I think that's really powerful.
One thing I feel like is a challenge, and let's talk about this briefly, is the mindset issues of feeling scared or icky or some sort of way about selling to a client that you already have a relationship with. So what are some ways to come up with that conversation and do it in a way that feels good to basically sell someone you've already sold?
I think being from the get-go, letting them know that there's going to be continued support. So one of the things that I do with my one-on-one clients, I say it's a 4-month container, but most clients, so I plant the seed right from the get-go. I say most of my clients continue to work with me monthly following our 4-month commitment. So they already know on the back of their head that, like, oh, this is 4 months, but I have an opportunity to continue working with her. So that feeling of what's next has already been addressed at the forefront. What about you, Lex?
Love it. And you know what? I'll call myself out on this because this used to be a very big mindset hurdle and block for me. And my whole perspective on it changed. This was about 1.5 years ago when I didn't invite a client into a grad program because I got shy, because I got scared about selling her. And she came to me and said, I mean, I don't want to put myself out there too much if you're full, but like, is there any way that I could still work with you? And I was like, whoa, how dare I assume someone that she almost was offended, right? She was taking it as I didn't want to work with her. She thought that I wasn't wanting to extend the invitation. So the point of that being is it's an offer. It's yet again another invitation. You're giving them a new solution. And so it's actually a really positive thing if you can wrap your brain around it that way.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, in that it is an invitation. And if you don't invite them, and if you've listened to our other podcasts about selling, they don't know what they don't know. So I always love to use the example. If Taylor Swift is coming into town and I saw pictures on Instagram, if you guys all attending Taylor Swift without me, I'd be pissed. Just like I'd be pissed if I was working with you, Lex, and I saw that you were still working with that other client I knew you were working with. I'd feel that I wasn't worthy of your time. So obviously not every client is the perfect longevity client, but you want to make that invitation, because at the end of the day, they don't have to say yes to you, but they do want to know that the invite exists.
Yeah. And there are different ways that invitation can take place based on the type of ladder you're building. For example, if it's a ladder that starts with a digital product and sells into a one-on-one coaching call, even some of that can be automated. There can be emails you put into place. So it doesn't always have to be a big, lengthy sales talk. We're not always talking about just one high ticket to another high ticket. So really open your mind about what the full life cycle really could look like. It could be joining from your Instagram feed to your newsletter, to an online store, to a one-on-one coaching client, then to your program, right? So really, like, the sky is the limit with that ladder.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. So Lex, you want to wrap up and tell them their homework for today?
Yeah. So we want you guys to build a ladder. Okay. We want you to take your core offering and have that be your middle step, and come up with what is a step below and what is a step above it. What could that be? And we want you to prove that you've done your homework, and either comment if you're watching on YouTube or DM us on Instagram if you're listening on the pod.
I love it. And as always, we'll see you the next time on the Ready, Set, Coach podcast.
Bye.
Bye. If you're enjoying the Ready, Set, Coach podcast, please leave a review wherever you are listening. For more information about Ready, Set, Coach, visit readysetcoachprogram.com.